What's the word? What's the word? Welcome to another episode of What's the Word? Your boy Dykeman Drew. Got my boys back with me. My man G and Lefty. What's up, fellas?
It was good. What's good?
What's good? What's good, man? How y'all doing? Everything good?
Everything good. Everything good.
Ready to get into this.
Yeah. Today's topic is small guards, 6'3" and under, aka the Allen Iverson category. We're gonna get into a couple more things, but that's what we leading off with to see where it goes. But how y'all feel about the small guards? Talk to me.
Yo, the small guard is on his way out of the league, man. So they it's not looking good for it. I'm a fan of the small guard. I think there's always should be a spot for the small guard in the NBA, even though some of these big guards are taking over, but you still got the Kimbas and a couple of other guys out there, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, guys like that still hold it down.
How about you, G?
Well, I agree with Left, man. Small guards, you got the Lucas and the LeBron James and big guys making plays for their teams, like with the ball in their hands all the time. So I agree with everything Left said, man. There's a place for these guys somewhere in this league, especially if they can shoot. And as long as there's little guys, somebody's gonna have to guard them. So I don't think they're going anywhere. But
now we're gonna be talking about the best that we've seen. You know what I mean? Of all time. Just wanted to see how y'all feel about the small guards in general. But when it comes to like the best guards you've seen under 6'3", you know what I mean? Like the AI category. We're like, what are the names that come to you guys first?
Baron Davis, different. No injuries, but Baron was different.
I mean, he came into the league with no ACLs.
Right. Good point. Absolutely.
That's a fact. He came into the NBA with no ACLs in either knee.
That's right. The playoffs went to work. Playoffs every time. Golden State at the Hornets, he went to work. Had triple double one time against just a kid in the playoffs.
What do you think? Why do you think he couldn't win?
I mean, there was the first team. He might go to state. He led a team to
beat a one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then he didn't beat Jason Kidd over at when he was with the Hornets, but he worked, man. He was the best player on the court at that time. Like the injuries kept him from being great, consistently. It was like low management with him at that time. I don't think he played 82 games ever.
Yeah, ever in his life.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget though. The problem is he was injury prone, so he never had a complete clean shot. And then he had a clean shot against Miami when D-Wade was a rookie, and I think they went 7 games, and D-Wade outdueled them. And then that was Baron Davis' last shot of trying to make it, you know what I'm saying, to a championship, and D-Wade came through, and it was never the same after that. He had his run in Golden State, but a lot of that was Don Nelson with the small ball. It was still new, and he caught Dallas slipping. You know what I mean?
And, when I think about them 6'3" dudes, I think about like nice dudes, like games that we would want to have, like what I'm saying, like joys to watch. And Baron Strickland. Baron was a joy to watch. Nick Van Exel at one time brought some shit with him.
Nick Van Exel, yeah, absolutely.
Like games that you want to do, like, oh, I want to try that in the park. So, you know what I'm saying? And those are the type of guys that stick with me through time. Ross Strickland's, Kyrie Irving, you know what I'm saying? Kenny Anderson, guys like that.
That's what you reminded me of when we was growing up, just right-handed. But yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, the best to ever do it is between Isaiah Thomas and Allen Iverson, like small guards. but that category is dope. But if you had to pick 5, you know, there's a team called Brandon's, Prices, there's all of them dudes. But
I think
those
you got to throw
are
Steph
like,
Curry in there.
huh?
I think you got to throw Steph Curry in there with those two.
With who? With Baron Davis and AI?
With AI and with Isaiah Thomas. I think Steph Curry belongs on that list. Like,
Word?
yeah, those 3 are separate from everybody else. I think so. Steph is that good. So you gotta put him in there.
You got him over either of them?
He won a chip without KD and beat LeBron.
You got him over AI or Thomas?
I could argue here. I could argue over AI because of the chips, the jump shot.
MVP? He got 2 of them, right?
He got 2 of them. I could argue. I could argue over AI. I don't know if I would. I don't know. That's a tough one. Isaiah got the 2 rings. Isaiah did it in a different era while dudes was beating him up.
You're not answering the question though. Do you got Curry over either of them? Like if you starting a team, right, in 2020, and you got all of them 22, 23, whatever years old, you got Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson, and Steph Curry. Who you taking?
That's tough. Me being in the now, I'm gonna say I may just say Steph Curry, like just because that's the last one I'm watching. Different, that boy, different, man. Where he can miss threes, but AI, all right, AI is the Chuck.
All right, but we never seen Steph Curry do that on a bad team. AI did it on a bad team.
Well, when Steph led his team to the conference, when he took his team to Game 7 against San Antonio, nobody knew who Golden State was until then.
But he didn't go to the finals.
No, he didn't. But he took them to Game 7 like that evolution started. Just like Spurs did a few years back, like that evolution started. I'm not gonna say it was a bad team, but it was a team coached by Mark Jackson that came out of nowhere.
They weren't a better team than AI took team.
Steph was a better player. Yeah, of course they was. They had more talent in it. They had more talent on this team. Yeah, of course.
So you'd still take Curry over Iverson. How about you, Twin? You got Isaiah Thomas, Curry, and AI.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Isaiah Thomas, man. I'm gonna take Isaiah Thomas early. I've never. That's my favorite point guard of all time.
Yeah,
right? He's a franchise point guard, man. He was the leader of that team. He didn't have no superstars on that team. He was the one. He did everything. When it was time to pass, he passed. When it was time to score, he scored. And his playoff is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? He's been to more championships than Steph. You know what I mean? Still, you know what I mean? Like, and he got as many as Steph.
Who been to more championships?
Isaiah Thomas has been to more championships than Steph Curry. I'm throwing that shit out there without stats or without computer.
No, he went to 3.
Throwing that out there.
He went to 3.
Who went to 3?
Isaiah went to 3. He lost one.
Isaiah went to more than 3.
No, he went to 3. He lost 1. He lost to Magic, and then he won 2 in a row. He went to 3. Steph went to 4 in a row, correct?
Yeah.
Steph went to 4 in a row.
I don't know. I thought they lost. I thought the Lakers.
You went 3 and 1. No, they went. No, Steph went to 5 in a row. They went 3 and 2. I'm sorry. They lost to the Cavs. They lost to the Cavs, and they lost to Toronto. Steph went to 5 in a row.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's different.
And listen, and it's difficult. And listen, it's difficult to put him in front of Isaiah because of the era that Isaiah did it in. I like to think about these guys like a Barkley or somebody like that having a jump shot, stepping out, shooting threes to compare them to.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Golden State on paper is a better team than Detroit Pistons on paper, and Isaiah Thomas
Of course,
the
but
one
two
that
different NBAs. It's two different NBAs. You want to
it's two
construct
different NBAs, but it's championship teams, so you could
Yeah,
compare
fact.
them.
two of the best backcourts all time. Joe
Yeah.
Dumars.
Okay,
See, but my thing is this:
I'll
AI
take
is not
Clay
a
over
point guard.
Dumars. I'll take Clay over Dumars, and I'll take Isaiah over Curry, nigga. What? The two best
No,
backcourt. I'm taking Clay over Dumars, and I'm taking Isaiah over Curry, B.
no, I hear you. I hear you. But the question to me was AI or Steph Curry,
Yep.
and as a
AI,
it
Thomas,
seems
or
easier.
Steph Curry.
It seems easier to run a team around Steph than it does AI. It just seems easier. You know, I like to use this example where
Yes,
Steph Curry
I hear
Steph Curry is a point guard, but then he turns into Reggie Miller coming off picks, bam, 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 running
Yeah,
around
but,
quick.
but AI is not a point guard.
AI
Facts.
is a tool. AI was a tool, but Steph
He
Curry
always played with a point guard. He was never the point guard.
and
And
Steph
he said
Curry.
himself, he's a killer. He had
No,
the Eric Snows and all these and you know what I mean, and all these other dudes.
and I
Look,
know
I
that he
will say
played
this:
with Eric
Isaiah
Snow.
got the
He played with Steve
Iverson got the
Blake.
better playoff career than Steph.
Who?
No way.
Iverson, I
AI.
mean,
Oh, numbers, you mean stats?
numbers.
Yeah.
I'm
Stats, yeah.
showing up.
The
Steph had
point.
a triple
The
double
point.
in the finals and then won MVP. Like Steph is Steph, man.
No,
Steph.
he didn't win MVP. There was a reason why he didn't win MVP.
You
There
went
was a
0
reason.
for 14 from 3 your game, 1 for
My nigga,
13. He wasn't
Steph,
consistent.
that's what I'm talking about. Steph let Iguodala take a MVP.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, and the media helped a lot. Oh, he's locking up LeBron while LeBron having 35, 12, and 12.
Yeah, but I was about to say he's knocking up LeBron. LeBron's getting 35.
Right. But he made big shots. Oh, yeah. He played hard, and I had a lot to do with the media, I think, because if you watch the game without Steph's buckets, without Clay's buckets, they don't win.
No, Steph didn't have a performance series in those finals. He had some games.
I agree.
He didn't show up.
No, he always has bad games. He always has a 2 for 14 from 3 game in the finals, where KD got 2 MVPs because he never does that. It's too like it just doesn't happen to him. It seems like it doesn't happen to KD, especially not in the finals. It's only a game in the finals.
I mean, I don't see AI as a point guard. But
no.
if we're gonna compare,
he played with Eric Snow and with Steve Blake. These dudes started with him, so you know he played the two.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know he played the two.
So if we're gonna compare Curry to Iverson, we're just comparing two scorers.
2 scorers, 2 games,
2 guards,
3 guards. Yeah, but not 2 point guards. We're comparing 2 guards.
Right.
I'm taking AI, bro. Because I think you put AI on a decent team.
What, like when he played with Melo,
bro? Huh?
Like when he played with Melo, and they took the ball, they put the ball in his hand.
Nah, not that version of him, because he was trying to do too much, and Melo was still trying to do it. And then, huh?
That was a tough team.
It was a tough team, but it wasn't the prime Allen Iverson.
Steph Curry could have probably just blended into that team. It's just his game.
Because he's not an alpha, bro. He's not an alpha. He's a dude, like you said, he can mesh with any team because he don't worry about shots because he knows he's going to get his. So he could go 0 for 4, 0 for 6, 0 for 8 for a whole 3 quarters and finish a game with 18 in like 6 minutes. Like that's what he does. Iverson, to me, when Iverson went to Denver, Iverson was on some, I gotta win before, like this is the second half of my career. I gotta win before the window gets too small. And Melo was I'm Melo. You know what I mean? So I think you had 2 great ball players that could have won, but not in the West because there was only one basketball and they were still trying to figure that shit out. Because Melo's still gonna take his shots, whether he got a GOAT next to him or not. We know that. Melo's a bucket. And he's not going to defer to anybody, and neither is Iverson. You know what I'm saying?
Steph starts at the point for Golden State, where AI didn't start at the point when they were good. You know, you play with a point guard when Larry Brown came. and even at Denver, he played with a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
But Steph doesn't have the ball in his hands the way point guards usually do. He's coming off picks. He's coming, he's giving it up, setting up again, running to a corner, shooting the basketball. Draymond helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that.
He plays so well off the basketball. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he does both pretty. He does both pretty even. It's not like
no, he does
not
both
like
great.
he's not handling the ball.
No,
and
he does both great.
Shit neither.
Oh, he's great at both. I can't disagree with that. But you can put Steph Curry into the scorer category because you see into the two category because you see the way he works to get the basketball when he doesn't have it. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different from a Steve Nash, where Steve Nash would always create his own shot. Barely did, held the ball for so long, and then finally made a play.
Yeah, but a lot of that has to do with the system.
So much. Doesn't he not play off the basketball a lot? And I'm just thinking this because you brought up how AI is a tool. But Steph Curry also, man. Like,
nah, no way. He's not a two.
Because he doesn't start at the two.
They have a two.
But his game is two.
Because he's a shooter?
No.
He's a shooter?
He runs off screens like a two.
Right.
That's what he does.
Make him a two.
That makes, yeah, exactly.
No, but it's constant motion where he doesn't. Okay, listen. I know
the system that they run. That's the system they run over there, bro.
Him or two, but it's not traditional point guard. Like, who else has played point guard the way Steph Curry does? Where once he gives up the basketball, he's looking for it again. They're setting picks for him to shoot the basketball. All
the guards that have run that offense. A lot of guards run that.
Who? How many? Tell me how many. Oh, Steph. Name me names who come off pin downs. Who double screens.
Kimba.
Oh man.
What?
So you tell Kimba has the ball in his hands more than Steph Curry ever does.
He plays off the ball too, Gio. He plays off the ball and comes off.
Like Steph Curry? Like Steph. All right, give me another example besides Kimba.
All right, I'm gonna give you another example.
Give you another example.
They out here.
Who's out here? Trae Young is not out here. John Moran, Luka Doncic. Name me names. All right, and I gotta watch more Kimba to who has the ball in their hands while Kimba's coming off pin downs and all that. Because
Marcus Brown.
I know it's not the key. Clear out, isolation, step back. I know that's most of his game. A lot of them pin downs, I can't see it right now. But you tell me another point guard that gives up the basketball and turns into Reggie Miller, that turns into Kyle Korver. I'm gonna sit here and wait for names.
Yeah, but that don't make him a two, though. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, but listen, but he's not a traditional point guard, and this is what he's also doing.
Yeah, but there's no more traditional point guards in the NBA. The last two is Rondo and Chris Paul.
Well,
that's the last traditional point guard.
Wait up. I'm gonna give him names.
There's still people averaging 10 assists a game. Well, your man Steph Curry's still at 6. He had AI numbers with the assists.
Bradley Beal.
He's never at 7, 8, 9. If I'm not mistaken, Draymond Green hasn't led them in assists like 4 or 5.
Bradley Beal's not the point guard.
Okay, has Draymond Green?
He was the point guard when
Draymond Green
when John Wall was gone.
Has Draymond Green led them in assists the last 4 years? Golden State Warriors.
I doubt it.
But we need to look at it. I'm
sure
he did.
But
I'm sure he did.
Curry averages about 6 assists, bro.
Right. Something light. So that's AI category.
That's not light.
No, that's AI category though.
Yeah, but who is AI gonna pass to average more assists?
What?
Who was AI gonna pass to get more assists?
Oh, no. Let's not do that because the great ones pass it to anybody and somebody score. Let's not do that.
AI is a two guard, but he's not there for assist. That's what I'm saying, though. That's my point. The AI wasn't there for assist.
And what I'm saying is that once Steph Curry gives up the basketball, he turns into Reggie Miller.
I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is that doesn't make him a two.
No, but what I'm saying is that he plays off the basketball. Give me another point guard that does that. And that's AI like. because you're getting 22 shots a game, 20 shots a game, 19.
Yeah, but don't say it because of 10 assists a game, because James Harden led the league in assists one year.
Always had the basketball in his hand.
Yeah, but we know he's not a point guard.
Steph doesn't always have the basketball in his hand. If Draymond Green leads you in assists in your run 5 straight years, and I think it's 4 straight years he led them in assists, then that says a lot about Steph Curry is not the primary ball handler on his team. You see the highlights, isolation, bang, 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 bang. But primary ball handler, where he makes decisions out there consistently, no, he takes shots. He comes off.
He makes decisions out there consistently.
Of course he does.
Stop it.
Well, of course he does. But primary, like you're the only one. Point guards, where 11 assists a game, 10 assists a game, 9 assists a game. He's not in the Luka Doncic mode. How many modes have been Steph Curry? If Steph Curry is a point guard, which he is, because he starts at the point, it's not like where Allen Iverson started with an Eric Snow, and like I say with the Blake, with Blake, right?
Yeah.
Steph Curry starts at the point guard. What other point guard has had Steph Curry's game? Like what other point guard?
Oh, nah, none.
None. All right, so it's different where he gets his shots and he's not primary. The team doesn't depend on him to have. It's also system to have
facts. Absolutely.
He's coming
because they got dudes like Draymond.
Double pins, boom, 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 boom. Top of the key, corner threes. He's getting his own shots. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets this in so many different ways. Whenever he brings up the basketball, after that he turns into a 2-guard. He turns into a 2-guard in traditional 2-guard form. Go get that basketball. In traditional shooter form, go find the basketball, shoot the basketball.
He's running off screens. He can shoot.
No other point guard in NBA history, and he is the point guard. Not even AI. I mean, I'm not gonna say not even AI because you know AI come off corner screen. Exactly. You know, I know that. Not even. I'm not gonna say not even AI because that's why I compared Curry's game to AI's game. As far as how they score, how they get the basketball, Curry has more range.
Curry has more what?
Range. And you have to call him. What about when Livingston played with them? Did Livingston not run it for them?
Yeah, he did.
Right. Livingston was in the second unit.
But he wasn't. I was just about to say he wasn't starting. He was starting.
So you gonna tell me Livingston didn't play a lot with Steph Curry?
He might have.
Yeah, but he wasn't a starting point guard.
That's not the meaningful stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, he had 25 points, 25 minutes off the bench. This kid Livingston when he played with him, 27 during the regular season, 25, 27 minutes a game. He played a lot with Steph Curry.
Yeah, with him. And he wasn't a starting point guard. He's a playmaker, bro. He's a point guard. He's a big guard.
This comes from me asking Lefty what other point guard has his game. And that's also me telling you that it's a lot like AI also. Like nobody else.
Kyrie
point guard has had that. Kyrie is more isolation. We know that.
He don't come off. He don't play the two.
Like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's
like Steph Curry, but
Steph Curry don't start moving once the basketball is not in his hands.
All right.
Yeah, he's always moving. That's a fact.
He don't it's like that. AI, yes.
If you're gonna compare it like that, nobody. It has to be like Steph. Nobody.
The kid is different.
He is absolutely.
With the basketball and without the basketball, where we see where Harden and Westbrook having problems doing that now. We see many players. KD don't have a problem with that, but we're talking 6'3" and under. Dirk don't have a problem with that. Tim don't have a problem with that, but we're talking 6'3" and under. These dudes are used to having the basketball in their hands, correct?
Yeah.
These dudes are the dudes that lead the league in turnovers every year, correct? Because the ball goes in their hands. So Steph, you can't say he's not like AI, I believe. And like I told Lefty, no, there's never been nobody like him.
No, not at all.
And that's why I can argue
no.
AI. And I won't argue Isaiah because I know Isaiah had the same game these dudes had, but he was getting hand checked. So imagine if he wasn't getting hand checked. So I'm never going to argue Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put Isaiah in that category.
So you got Isaiah AI. No, you got Isaiah Curry AI, and then who else? Because you still got the Rod Stricklands. You see, like people like Terrell Brandon and Mark Price and all these dudes. They were effective basketball players, but like they weren't my cup of tea.
No, what I'm saying is that those three have that's their category. Like, is an AI.
Rod Strickland isn't in that category.
No, Ralph Strickland played on 18 teams. All respect, I love Ralph
We're
Strickland.
talking about basketball, though. We're not talking about accomplishments. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about pound for pound basketball, where we saw them, the work we saw them put in.
These dudes have accomplishments, so I'm not even going to talk about them. Like, anybody else wasn't as good as these dudes to me because of the accomplishments.
I got you. I'm talking with. In my mind, it's more game because when it comes to the chips and that, then it's just gonna be only a handful of dudes you could talk about. But when you say 6'3" and under, not a lot of 6'3" dudes won to be even in that category. Isaiah Thomas and these dudes. That's what I'm talking about. Basketball game. I'm just talking about game. Like how they played the game of basketball.
AI never won, but you know what AI was. Like he's
absolutely.
He belongs in the category with Isaiah and Steph Curry. But I don't think that anybody else that we could talk about is as good as these three dudes. That's 6'3".
Chris Paul?
Yeah, I think that's the Mount Rushmore. I think it's them three. I don't think Chris Paul. Chris Paul's not in my top 5 point guards all time. Steve Nash better than him. We could put Steve Nash there. But Steve Nash is like, I don't know if I could put Steve Nash there. Steve Nash better than Chris Paul to me.
Really?
Yeah, Steve Nash, 100% better than Chris Paul.
So you got Steve Nash as your fourth?
As far as nice, as in pam, nice, and as far as my team wins. When I'm healthy and I'm out here, yeah. And there was nothing wrong with him. The dude could shoot from every level. Crazy, like.
So you don't got Baron Davis there?
Baron Davis in my top 5? No, Baron Davis is one of them dudes like Nick Van Exel. Like a Terrell Brandon, like a Mark Price.
Terrell Brandon?
Terrell Brandon in his prime was what was wrong with Terrell? Doing step back threes and all that his prime.
Well, he wasn't better than Baron Davis. Terrell Brandon was nice, but he wasn't better than Baron Davis.
No, of course not. Of course he wasn't better.
Okay.
I'm telling you dudes that was
yeah. Terrell Brandon was definitely certified. Yeah.
Nick Van Exel, dudes that I enjoy
100.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Kyrie Irving, Trey Young. You know what I'm saying?
So you can say Kyrie Irving. You can say Kyrie Irving, but you won't say Rod Strickland.
Oh, I can say Rod Strickland, of course. I can say Rod Strickland more than Mark Jackson, and Mark Jackson has more credentials.
Mark Jackson 6'5".
Oh, I don't think so. I think Mark made 6'3". I'm not sure.
No, Mark Jackson was a big guard.
No,
at least 6'4".
Look that up. I think that, of course, I'd rather watch Strickland play. Listen, I'm always going to tell you 6'3" and under. I'm always going to tell you about the dudes I enjoy watching play. I'm not going to tell you about a Stockton or A.D. Johnson. I'd rather tell you about Tony Parker, like dudes that I like to watch play. You know what I'm saying? And if you won, even better. If you won some games, made it little deep playoff runs, even better. You know what I'm saying?
Mark Jackson was 6'1".
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So now,
hell no,
that's what I'm saying. On Wikipedia, twice it says 6'1". I'm like, hell no.
He wasn't 6'5". That I know just by watching him play.
How was it? He was a big guard. I always saw him at like 6'4", 6'5". To me, he was not Allen Iverson. He was bigger than Rod Strickland, bro.
And
that's 6'1".
That's the wrong Mark Jackson, bitch.
He was bigger than Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland's like 6'1", 6'2".
I think that's right for Mark Jackson, man. I know he wasn't
no way. No way.
6'5". Come on.
No way.
Remember, you got the Terry Porters. He wasn't no 6'5". Like Terry Porter was tough. Who else was tough back in them days? You had the kid at Denver. What was the kid at Denver?
Y'all niggas is messing up my number one of my top forever niggas, Tim Hardaway, boy.
Oh, Timmy.
Oh, there you go. That's one right there.
Timmy.
That's
No.
one right there.
Tim
Let me
Hardaway.
repeat
That's
that.
one right there for sure.
Timmy
Tim
was so
Hardaway
good.
was like that, boy.
Definitely.
Chris Jackson was like that. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Of course.
He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry, man.
Why isn't Tim Hardaway a Hall of Famer?
Because of that homophobic comment he made, son. I think the NBA got him on timeout, like because of the comment he made. Like he got banned from a lot of stuff that had to do with the NBA for a few years.
The last time we was on, I remember telling y'all through text afterwards. Alonzo ain't do nothing until he joined Tim Hardaway, and that's the most he ever did. You know what I'm saying? That's the deepest I ever went.
Yo, you are so disrespectful.
In Charlotte, they won, nigga.
Charlotte, bro.
They ain't go through
Charlotte.
Him and Larry Johnson.
Yeah,
with Muggsy Bogues.
They beat the old Boston team
and Denver. They beat Denver.
No, there's no way they beat Denver. Two different conferences.
No. I'm talking about Mutombo.
I remember that series. They beat the old Boston team and they got spanked in the second round. They beat the old Boston team. Look it up.
I know it. It was a buzzer beater that Alonzo made.
Remember, I don't consider that winning. They was together like 2 years, but
they were making the playoffs.
Yeah, they made the playoffs 2 years. 2 years. Larry Johnson was as good as Alonzo Mourning. Probably better with his back.
Larry Johnson was small. I always thought Larry Johnson was big. Larry Johnson was like 6'4".
6'4". But he was as good as as Alonzo Mourning. Probably better.
He was better.
Right, in his prime,
he was more offensive because Alonzo was just dunking and blocking shots. He had a little mid-range after a while, and he made free throws. But when he got with Tim Hardaway, they turned it up. He still couldn't win, though.
So who would you rather have, a big guard or a small guard? Big guard, let's say Luka.
You gotta go. I'd rather have a big guard if the guard. Listen. Size,
I think it depends on the guard because I'm taking a small shooting guard, a small guard that could shoot over Ben Simmons. Because Ben Simmons does, like, I'm one that when Ben Simmons came into the NBA, I used to argue with Junior. And I told him, yo, in about 5 years, when LeBron is passing the torch, I think it's going to be to this kid. He's different. 6'10" point guard. Like, he's so scared to shoot, bro, that he doesn't even affect the game the way he should. So it depends what guard
affects the game.
No, I'm talking about he don't affect the game the way he should, because he should be more of a threat out there. Because Giannis can't shoot and he takes them. If he at least takes them and he makes these guard and these bigs come out to guard him, he makes it easier. But everybody takes 10 feet away from him. It's like social distancing when you guard Ben Simmons.
They got to build a better team around him. That's Philadelphia's fault.
Nigga, it's the East, bro. They can't win with that. They got to split that team up. You got to either keep Embiid or Ben Simmons. I'm not taking Ben Simmons over, let's say, who? What's a small guard that gets busy right now? Like, I think Philadelphia win more with Trae Young than with Ben Simmons.
Hell no.
With Embiid, of course, because Ben Simmons can't get off with a big, bro, that needs the ball and clogs the paint. That don't hurt Trae Young.
Listen, man.
Ben Simmons is not it to me. Just because he can't shoot, everything else he does is phenomenal, but he can't shoot. So, like, when it's coming down to it, and you need a bucket. If he's your best player on your team, he's not taking that shot. Who's taking the shot?
Well, Ben Simmons at 6'10", biggest point guard we ever seen.
Huh?
Ben Simmons at 6'10", the biggest point guard we ever seen.
Ever in my life.
And he can't shoot.
A lick, bro. Rondo couldn't shoot, and Rondo makes shots now.
What about Luka? Luka or the rest of the 6'3" and under dudes?
I take.
Who you choosing? Either one of the 6'3", out of the Foxes and Trae Youngs and
Luka.
Luka's
the best European basketball player I ever seen in my life.
I'm taking Luka over anybody that's new, upcoming right now.
Yeah, facts.
What about other point guards in the league?
Period. Like who? You take Luka or Curry right now?
Curry.
Okay.
Of course, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. That boy can shoot. That boy can shoot.
Now you gotta take Curry. You gotta take Curry.
Curry.
But I mean, who's the other 6'3" guards that you take over Luka? Kyrie? I don't take Kyrie no more over Luka.
I think besides Curry, and
Luka
listen,
6'3". How tall is Luka?
6'7".
Yeah, that nigga wild tall.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking none of these 6'3" guards unless
it's like
Steph Curry over Luka.
Like I'm the biggest Steph Curry fan, but what he does is different from any other point guard I've seen. Is he small? Doesn't he defend? He doesn't defend well. All that doesn't matter. Like I've seen him change games with the jump shot. It's like I've seen Klay Thompson. Like I'm always going to defend Klay Thompson, two-way player. And that's probably the only person that I'll take to run my team besides LeBron, a real point guard.
Who?
The Luka. Like Luka to me is the best playmaker in the NBA. To me, besides LeBron James, if Luka plays point guard, he starts at the point guard. Tim Hardaway plays the two. You know what I'm saying? Like when Steph Curry comes in, he's more or less a shooter. Just stand there, shoot. He plays the two, more or less. Luka has the ball in his hand every time. He's the point guard.
That kid is the best European basketball player ever, bro.
He guards the point guard. There's nobody else that I would take before Luka, and that plays point guard in the NBA. Nobody else. To me, he's the best point guard in the NBA. Besides Steph Curry.
Luka is that deal. But let me ask you something. They talking about James Harden going to Philadelphia.
Well, I think that's a lot of crazy talk. That's because Maury's over there at Philly, and I don't think that's going to happen at all.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that.
They're going to rebuild at Houston, unless you're going to give Westbrook a team, a small team. I can see happening is them trying to figure out a way to get bigger. And
you can't put Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook on the same team. That's terrible.
And what Houston is saying that they're gonna go exceed the luxury tax, so it doesn't matter. They're gonna make some moves. They're gonna try to get bigger because they have to get more size, have to get more length. They have to. No, they're too small. They got rid of their biggest player, Capella.
They had Capella. They should have stayed with him.
I expect Trae Young to work with Capella now. Like I'm expecting a lot from Trae Young this year. If not, I'm putting him in the Steph Curry, in the Stephon Marbury, Kyrie Irving, Stephen Francis category. You ain't never gonna win nothing in your life.
Stevie Francis wasn't one of them 6'3" and under guards. That was crazy.
Yes, crazy. Stevie was different. But you know, there's a category for them three that are producing that are nice, but their teams don't win games. Their teams don't win playoff games. Like, but they're nice. Like, I want their game.
Kyrie Irving is. Kyrie Irving. You remember we used to argue all the time, and I used to take Kyrie over Steph Curry all the time. But
and I told you, Steph and Kyrie at the time where, you know, I seen Jason Kidd and I seen dudes come in the league. I seen pass first dudes come in the league and just excel right away, and their teams win right away. It usually takes longer for shooters, for small guards who rather shoot, for their teams to win, and they usually don't. You know, remember when LeBron signed with them, I was like, damn, we're never going to get to see if Kyrie could do it by himself. I was disappointed because I knew he was going to go to the finals. He's fucking with LeBron.
Yeah, he wasn't going to do anything by himself, bro. He was getting punched in the face by himself. They was not winning 25 games when he was the best
by himself. It's like where Jason Kidd, no matter where he goes, he's going to win 50. Stephon Marbury may win 32. It's just two different type of games. Like,
I think with Kyrie, it's just all the off the court and the mental approach. Because as a basketball player, he's solid, bro. One of the best finishers ever in the
Of
history
course,
of the NBA.
of
But I
course.
don't know. It's just something about who he is, I guess. Because look at Boston. That Boston team he was on, not for nothing, bro. Like that Boston team should have been so much better because Kyrie was there and what he can bring with them young killers that he had, and they were better without him.
Because this is what it is with Kyrie, and it's, in my opinion, where it's different from the other scorers that are point guards. He doesn't get his teammates involved at all.
Nah,
His,
that's not what he's there for. That's not what he do.
that's not what he's there for, and he always starts at the point for his team. When Kyrie was at his best, is when LeBron and him shared those duties on the court. And look at what he says now, and even what he said recently about he never trusted nobody until now.
Oh yeah, that he's happy to have a player that he can finally trust
So you
to
know the
take
mentality.
a final shot that's as
You know
good as
the
him.
mentality. You know the mentality. And look, talking big and small. When Steph played with KG for many years, that's the first. That's probably Stephon Marbury's longest playoff run playing with KG at that age.
He should have stayed there,
And
man.
that's not what happens. You don't make the playoffs with the Knicks. You don't make the playoffs with the Nets. And I think you made the playoffs once at Phoenix.
And they had a good team at the Knicks.
Jason Kidd comes behind you and leads these dudes to playoffs. It's different type of point guards. Where Kyrie is in that mode, Stevie Francis is in that mode, in my opinion, because I've just seen it too many times.
What?
That these type of dudes that want the basketball in their hands all the time, their teams don't win. Their teams don't win regular season games. They barely make playoffs.
Iverson did it.
Iverson started at the two. Correct?
He wanted the ball all the time. He got it.
But he started at the two, where Kyrie and these dudes, Eric Snow and Blake can decide who I give the basketball to. Carmelo's best years were when he played with Chauncey and Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
I decide to give you the rock. When I decide that you make plays, I decide when you take over, or I know when it's time for you to take over.
But that's why I don't think that the Denver thing, when you said that he played with Melo in Denver, I think that's why it didn't work.
He didn't play with a pure point guard.
Yeah. And AI is not gonna he's not gonna set somebody else up. He's a bucket.
When he played with Chauncey, conference finals. When he played with J Kidd, you make a second round.
Yeah.
And before that, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes, and before we went on air, what we spoke about, the 2004 team, right?
Yeah.
Olympic team.
The 2004 Olympic team that lost to Puerto Rico. Me and Lefty's home team.
I said they didn't have a point guard.
Lefty yes, they did.
Now I want to hear what Lefty says, because that's what I said. You know, Lefty said they didn't have a point guard. I said that 2008, the dudes ain't want to play unless Jason Kidd played with them. Because Jason Kidd, bang, 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 bang. Let's make it easy.
Yeah, but they had Steph, and Steph is a point guard.
Steph is a point guard, but Steph wants the basketball in his hands. Steph isn't going to pass first. Steph
but yeah, that's what they was doing. Nobody was making shots. I watched this whole entire game. It was the worst coach game of Larry Brown's career, bro. Because they were stacked.
That's not his game. That's not Stephon Marbury's game. Steph has had the ball in his hands his whole life. 20 seconds, either I get a shot or I make a pass.
You can't play that game when you playing different rules. That's the NBA game.
And when you're playing on an Olympic team, it's totally different than being the man on your team or the 1-2 on your team.
You can't expect Stephon Marbury or Allen Iverson to play point guard with a bunch of stars around you.
Not Allen Iverson. Nobody said Iverson. Nobody said Iverson. I said Stephon Marbury.
Or Steph. When did Steph ever prove to you that he can lead a team to wins?
In college.
In college, How?
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
In
Look,
Georgia
look,
Tech.
look it up. He
And
probably
his
won
first
19
year with
games at
Kevin
Georgia
Gur-
Tech.
with-
I was at the
and with
game.
Minnesota his first 2 years.
I was at the game. He had KG his first 2 years. So now you have a player as good as you or better. So let's go.
Okay.
All right, but now when you by yourself, you control the basketball too much. Right or wrong?
But where was he by himself?
He was by himself with the Knicks. He was by himself in Jersey.
No, he wasn't by himself in the Knicks. He had Jamal Crawford.
That's to me, that's by yourself when you compare him to having KG. Like, you're the best player on your team. Nobody's even close. Because no matter what you say, Jamal Crawford.
They had Zach Randolph, Eddie Curry, right? Jamal Crawford.
Good on paper. Good on paper.
Nobody there.
Good on paper. But I'm sure that a team led by Rondo, I could put Rondo in that list where I know Rondo can make anybody playing with him better.
Yes.
Do they win a championship? I don't know.
Right, that's true. Different styles of point guards.
Different styles of point guard. Where this style of point guard to me has never won games, not even regular season games.
20-7 point guards.
28 point guards. Listen, I've never seen Oscar play, but Oscar's teams lost. Him having 30, 10, and 10.
Yeah. Then he got with Kareem and they won. Yeah.
30, 10, and 10. And all his teams, all they did was lose.
Yeah, but we never seen one person win.
Now, we never seen one person win, but the things I'm bringing up to you can't even make playoff runs. Can't even make the playoffs. Their teams don't win 42 games. Half their games in the regular season. The dudes I'm talking, the category that I put Steph, Kyrie, and Stephen Francis in, and those are just two of them.
But didn't they go to the playoffs in Orlando?
Or even the Kevin Johnson before he got Barkley. Like, Kevin Johnson had that same type of game. Pound, 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 pound. Steve Nash had that type of game. But you know what's the difference with Steve Nash? That he'll penetrate and make something happen. It's not just on the perimeter. He'll penetrate, make something happen.
Yeah, he keeps the offense moving.
And he kept his dribble alive. When the dudes that I'm naming you, when the shot clock is down, they either take a shot. Kyrie's the best shot maker out of all of them. Kyrie's probably the best shot maker we ever seen in our life, right? But something about him being the point guard on his team doesn't translate to victories.
I hear you, but listen, you're being a little bit too hard on these guys. I think
Great
Steve Marbury, Steve Francis, and all them niggas, they went to the playoffs, bro. Now you saying niggas ain't winning at all. Steph went to the playoffs with Minnesota, I believe with the Nets and Phoenix. And Steve Francis went to the playoffs with Houston. I don't believe he went to the playoffs.
And I think Orlando.
I don't think Steph went to the playoffs with anybody besides Minnesota. Maybe Phoenix 1 year. I'm almost positive he didn't make it with the Knicks, and I'm almost positive he didn't make it with the Nets. Because right after that, Jason Kidd came and took him to 2 finals.
No, when he left Phoenix, they got better, and when he left the Nets, they got better.
There's no question about that.
He was an all-star with the Nets. I'm assuming he must have gone to the playoffs at least 1 year.
When you have a point guard, it's just what it is through NBA history. When you have a point guard who averages the amount of points that they do, or 20 and 8 for his career. Remember, because Steph was in that category for
he was in that category. Him and Isaiah Thomas.
Their teams don't win. And I'm not even talking about championships.
So what was Isaiah Thomas' numbers like?
Well, Isaiah Thomas will have 11 assists a game for a season. 10 assists, 9 assists. He ended his career with 10 assists a game. You know, that's a different type of point guard, right? Where you don't ever expect for a Kyrie, a Steph, or Steve Francis to have those numbers.
I mean, he was 20 and 8, bro.
He was for a minute.
No, not career. He was.
But did that translate to wins?
No, it didn't. But it wasn't how you saying it, man.
It translated to wins in China, nigga.
Okay. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Lev. But if we're gonna be serious here, those type of games do not lead to wins in the NBA. They just don't. When Jason Kidd comes into a league right away, a Magic Johnson comes into the league right away, or Rondo, who else can we say? Steve
Chris
Nash.
Paul.
Chris Paul. Listen, I love Chris Paul. I just don't got him in my top 5. Chris Paul is in that category. You know what I'm saying? Like they come into the league and their teams right away become better.
All right, so then what's your knock on Chris Paul? Because he's gotten everybody he's played with paid. He's made everybody better around him, every team he's gone to. So what's the knock on him?
My top 5?
Yeah.
Matthew, Isaiah, Curry.
Now we're talking about the 6'3". We're talking about the 6'3".
I don't have a problem with him. The only thing I wouldn't put him in is my top 5. There's nothing wrong with
6'3". I'm talking about your top 5, 6'3", and under guards. Chris Paul's not one of them.
Oh, of course he's one of them. Of course.
Okay. I thought you were saying no.
That Chris Paul's not in my top 5, and I thought that's what you wanted me to explain.
Top 5 point guards, you mean?
Right, it's not in my top 5. I think Nash got 2 MVPs.
He said Steve Nash is better than Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I think Steve Nash. I'd rather give the basketball to is Chris.
Who you rather have on your team?
Steve Nash.
How about you, Twin?
I take Chris Paul.
Me too. Yeah, I take Chris Paul.
I think Steve Nash is the better
shooter. Was a late bloomer, B. Chris Paul came in wilding from top.
I agree, but in their primes, you can't go wrong with either one.
You can. Chris Paul's gonna do it for like 12 straight years, 13 years, and Steve Nash is gonna give you a good 5 years.
Problem with Steve Nash, Stoudemire, there's no ifs, but Stoudemire came off the bench, man. They was about to go to a finals and probably win.
All right, but was Steve Nash a better basketball player in Dallas or in Phoenix?
And I think Phoenix is his prime. Late Dallas, amazing, but I think
couldn't win.
What I'm talking about is like Steve Nash's best seasons. I'd rather have him than Chris Paul's best seasons. I'd rather have Steve Nash on my team than Chris Paul. Yes.
Yeah, because Steve Nash only didn't. You don't make it seem like Steve Nash's whole career he was killing, bro.
Well, at the time that he played, he was killing. The time he wasn't injured, he was killing.
You gotta give to longevity, bro.
Of course. But listen, and even then, I'm still gonna stay on whose game I'd rather have. I'd rather have Steve Nash. That boy could shoot. Maybe they didn't shoot enough.
Yeah, I take Chris Paul. I take Chris Paul.
I'm definitely gonna go the 2-time MVP all day.
So Steve, so you got so go ahead. What's your 5 at 6'3" and under?
Oh, that's tough, man. Because I'll be freestyling right now. That'll be AI. Steph Curry, AI, Isaiah Thomas. Definitely those 3, like I say. Now the next 2, those 3, like nobody's even close to them 3. The next 2, tough, man. Nobody that's even great like that has a ring. So it's tough. Like who else?
Well, look,
like freestyle right now off the top of my head, 6'3" and under. If I say Derrick Rose, will y'all say I'm bugging? Before Derrick Rose got hurt.
No, hell no.
How is that bugging?
Because he didn't longevity. Because of longevity. Just like Penny at the 1. You know what I'm saying? But he's not 6'3". Like Derrick Rose is 6'3". Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I got to go Steve Nash. At one time, of course, I would rather have Derrick Rose game, but Derrick Rose got hurt. But Steve Nash, 6'3" and under, is number 4. And maybe I will have to go as the dudes that I've seen: Westbrook, Derrick Rose.
No Tim Hardaway. No Kenny Anderson.
No, I think those are dudes. See, like we was talking about, I think those are dudes that they were good players, but the dudes that we're talking about, like those are elite players.
I think outside of your top 3,
what about Tony Parker?
Huh?
What about Tony Parker?
What about him?
6'3". Tony Parker wasn't real.
Yep.
Got his 3 rings. Tony Parker was real.
You got him there?
Well, Tony Parker is the Hall of Famer. Is Tony Parker better to me? Whose game would I rather have, Chris Paul or Tony Parker? Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? So I can't put him in there. He's a Hall of Famer, great player, got his rings, played tough in the playoffs, in the finals, made big shots. Tony
Who's your fifth?
How tall was Jason Kidd?
6'5".
All right.
6'5". So it's Curry, Isaiah, Steve Nash, and my fifth. Tough, man. It's tough, man. Go ahead, Left. Give me your five, Left. I'm gonna say Derrick Rose, Westbrook, one of those, because those are freak athletes. It's tough.
You know, you gotta go with Isaiah, Steph. It boils down to the same thing. I got like 2 picks left, but I got Isaiah Thomas, I got Steph Curry, and I got Iverson.
Yeah, that's like a no-brainer. I don't think they should even be considered, bro. I don't even think they should be considered because it's like y'all both said, it's nothing gonna be like those 3 people. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
It's like when you talk about the 2 guard, you got to talk about after Michael Jordan automatically. You talk about small forward, you got to talk about after LeBron. So it's only 4 spots. When you talk about 6'3" and under, if you add them dudes, it's only 2 spots available.
Right.
I think the 2 guard, if you was to have a game, I think the 2 guards the only position that you can't argue as who the best.
You know what? I'm gonna pick my 5.
Any other position is arguable. Like Magic is somebody else, Tim Duncan is somebody else. But if you say anything besides Michael and Kobe at the 2, like you know
people got Dwayne Wade and Allen Iverson
before Kobe and Mike.
No, before Kobe, not Mike.
That's what I'm saying. So
I've heard the argument with
them 2 is on a different level. Like
yeah,
you talk about point guards under 6'3", and the way you like them 3 is a different conversation. Like who's better between them 3? Because nobody else is even in that category. I don't think nobody even comes close. Like their game.
If you take those 3 out, it's harder to get those 5. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Listen,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Eliminate those 3 and give me your top 5. I bet you can't.
All right, Steve Nash is definitely on that list.
All right, so without them three, excluding those 3, like those, that's like you said, that's the Mount Rushmore of the 6'3" guards.
Steve Nash, Tony Parker, Kyrie Irving. Can't leave Kyrie Irving off that list.
Can't leave Kyrie off that.
Can't leave Kyrie. That'll be straight hate. Who don't want Kyrie game? Son, I don't want to say here, but who don't want his game? All right, so now
we're talking about, like, I'm glad you said that. Who don't want his game? We're not talking about rings. We're not talking about MVPs. We're talking about players that, like you said, who want their game, 6'3" and under.
So Steve Nash, Tony Parker,
Kyrie,
Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Tim Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go with Tim Hardaway on that. Kyrie gotta go in there. I can't diss Kyrie, man. And now when we start getting into the nitty-gritty, I'm gonna throw a lefty in there, B.
Rondo.
Stoudemire, B.
Oh, who? Damon Stoudemire?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had a good run in Toronto and he had a solid run in Portland, B. And I remember him in Arizona, man. The dude was tough, B.
Hold on. What about Dame Lillard?
Oh my God, Dame Lillard right there.
I
was waiting for that.
Oh, niggas, you should have let me.
No, I have to put it out there before they say we bugging. We're not talking about Damon.
That's why I was waiting. I was like, they ain't say this man yet all day.
Word, Dame Lillard, B. Dame Dollar, what? So Dame Dollar, Kyrie Irving, Tim Hardaway, Damon Stoudemire, and I'm gonna go with Barrett Davis, B. I see he like a LeBron type nigga with under 6'1" type shit.
Yeah, I like Tim Hardaway, Kyrie, Dame Dollar, Rod Strickland, And then after that, to me, I gotta say Chris Paul, yo.
Damn, I left Chris Paul off. I
I
ain't gonna
have to
hold
say
you.
Chris Paul because, like, to me, it's like when I saw him at Wake Forest and I saw how small he was, but I saw how he affected the game. As soon as he got to the NBA, every big man you put around him became somebody and got a check. David West, Tyson Chandler, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Everywhere he went, he made people that much better. Like he brought the max out of
Steven
everybody.
Adams.
Everybody he played with, and like to me, he's the last of those type of point guards. Like like Rondo does that. But now the point guard position is so different. Everybody scores from 1 to 5 in the NBA. It's like you guys say, it's positionless basketball because it's easy to say that Steph Curry wouldn't have done what he did in the NBA we saw growing up because of the physicality of the game, but they wasn't drawing up offenses for point guards in the 80s and 90s to come out and shoot threes all day coming from your point guard. That's not what it was. Your point guard, if he could score, he's gonna get his buckets, but he's there to play point guard. The game has evolved, like you guys say all the time, to positionless basketball. That's why the Steph Currys with the 2 guard game get away with playing point guard because he's a point guard that can shoot. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, point guards played like Chris Paul. Point guards played like Rondo. You know what I'm saying? They got people
Point guards play like Isaiah Thomas.
You know what I'm saying?
Chris Paul can shoot. That's what makes him great, also.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
From all levels.
Yeah. I gotta put Chris Paul there, man. I have to put Chris Paul there because I just seen him do too much that way. You know what I'm saying? Small, but he gets people involved and they get busy. And then after he plays with them, you don't hear from them no more. That's a fact.
See, it's hard for me to put Chris Paul in my all-time top 5. It's hard because to me, unless he wins, he's not better than Nash. To me,
I mean, if you put accolades into it, then I could see how he's not in your top 5. But Steve Nash didn't win either.
No, not even accolades. Just whose game I'd rather have, who I'd rather have run my team.
Yeah, I'll take Chris Paul over Steve Nash.
I could never do that.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong with taking Steve Nash at all.
Exactly.
At all. Steve Nash was like that. But I just if you're gonna give me one of their games, I'll take Chris Paul's game. I'm not mad.
One have Sotomayor, one have Blake. They were both good without them, but they weren't the same without them. Like Blake is not the same now, and Sotomayor had 30 a game with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Like really good players, both of them. It's tough. That's tough. I think Chris Paul has so many good teams, and you can't get it.
He don't win.
Right. That's my knock on Chris Paul. I've seen him have so many good teams, and there was a chance in the West.
He got hurt one year that they was about to do it.
He got hurt a few years, twice.
No. The 1 year though that I thought that they was actually gonna do it, he got his. That's when I think it was his knee.
You couldn't beat Golden State with Draymond and Blake 3 years in a row. You couldn't beat them in the playoffs.
Now they were gonna beat him when he got hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
What happened 2 times before that?
They lost.
No, because
we're only talking about the Clippers.
They
now
missed their opportunity.
Then at Houston, he got hurt. At Houston, he also got hurt in games before Game 7, right?
Yes.
And Houston beat him. Yes, I know. So we never got to see him get over that line. Like you only before that, and I saw Golden State spank y'all 3 times in the playoffs.
So the 2 MVPs is what has Steve Nash over Chris Paul for you.
The 2 MVPs,
which is a valid argument.
And whose game I'd rather have?
Okay, you rather have Steve Nash game than Chris Paul's game.
More fluid, look nicer.
Not to me.
To me, more fluid. There was more
I think the
running.
fluidity is the same to me. I think what separates them is the
Chris Paul
range on Nash's jump shot.
Chris Paul got his hand doing all that, but he's more of a bully than Steve Nash. Steve Nash was fluid, side to side, footwork like a soccer player.
Footwork was better. Soccer player footwork. You know what I mean?
Make
But
the
Chris Paul's game is fluid, bro.
The runners off of 1 foot. Like
Yeah.
Steve Nash was different. Baseline off 1 foot, floaters. Like I'm not. Chris Paul's mid range is crazy. Nash finishes better around the basket. The mid range is even, and Nash is a better 3-point shooter.
Range, he has better range on his three. Yeah.
Nobody would get the basketball from either one of them. But I'd rather have Nash. I'd rather have Nash.
How about you, Quinn?
I'd rather have Steve Nash's game, but I'd rather have Chris Paul on my team. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather, if I'm gonna pick between the players,
yeah,
I'm gonna pick Chris Paul as the man and the player he is out there, boy. He's been he's
a defender.
He's doing it for yeah, man. He's definitely way better at it than Steve Nash.
Yeah, hands down.
You know what I'm saying? He's way better at it than Steve Nash.
Steve Nash won 60 games in the NBA a few times. Chris Paul never. Tough, man. Who would you rather have your team? The nigga that won 63 times, or nigga that never did?
My nigga.
With talent. With talent.
The problem with you say is sometimes we
pick oranges. We pick it from the good back. We pick it from the Hall of Fame back. We know this already. So
and I left Kenny Anderson over. Kenny Anderson was one of my favorite players of all time, yo. And I didn't even have him on my 5, huh?
No, but the fact that these niggas don't last gotta matter.
Kenny Anderson is in a different category. Kenny Anderson is, what could have been.
Yeah.
What didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because it looks like once he got to the NBA, he was too slow. Just like Bobby Hurley.
Nah, because in New Jersey, him and DC worked out. When he got hurt playing the Knicks, after that it was over. He was never the same again.
He wasn't a quick guard. He wasn't quick. He wasn't Nick quick. He wasn't Jason Kidd quick. Like it just seems like what Kenny Anderson was doing. He was too slow. That's my take on Kenny Anderson. He was too slow for the NBA, and of course he couldn't shoot. Of course,
he wasn't a shooter.
So now people are pressing you; they're on you, and
but with all that being said, Kenny Anderson lasted like 7-8 years in the league, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, after he got hurt playing the Knicks, after he broke his shit, it was over after that. He was never the same role player.
We're from New York. What we thought of Kenny Anderson and what it was going to be in the NBA did not transpire.
No.
Not even his college
days. Got busy too, though.
Listen,
he had an all-star season.
Yeah, he had one all-star season.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
Jason Williams and DC and them, they won games. Yes, he did. And he had the all-star season. His team won a few games. I agree with that. But as far as who Kenny Anderson was, New York's all-time leading scorer, number 1 player in the nation, number 1 point guard in the nation. College or the NBA, it wasn't what it was. It wasn't what the projection was.
Yeah, it wasn't what the expectations weren't met.
Why? Because he couldn't shoot the basketball.
That was it. Yeah.
He could not shoot the basketball, and he may have been too slow to get to the basket whenever he wanted because he couldn't do it.
I mean, Mark Jackson got buckets, man, and there was nobody slower than Mark Jackson on earth.
But Mark Jackson was bigger, stronger.
And your boy Steph Curry ain't the fastest neither.
But and listen, at the same time, Mark didn't have to play with the dribble where he was bigger, because that's like Westbrook. I like to tell even my sons, Steph and Curry have to play with the basketball more and dribble and do this and create space because of their size, because they're not the biggest of men. Where Westbrook, simple crossover, and he had the basket. Where these guys aren't like that because you can't put your body on them. You know, little hand check folks, and you know what I'm saying. Where Westbrook, he's bigger. Derrick Rose. Like, of course, these dudes have handles, but do you see what Kyrie or Steph Curry does, or even Chris Paul? They don't dribble the way these dudes dribble to create shots or space because of their size. Trae Young, perfect example. Trae Young got to dribble more. Trae Young got to chuck it from just inside half court.
From half, boy.
Right. Because it's going to be harder for you to get those type of shots because these dudes are so much bigger than you. You're going to have to use it. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it. When the bigger dudes, one crossover over, but it's over.
So you rather have the bigger guard?
Of course, no question. No question. But you know, at the same time, is this up here's mentality because the 6'7" dude has to have. I want him to have Luka in him. You know what I'm saying? I want to have
absolutely.
And that's the only way that you're a 6'7" point guard. You can't be 6'7" and have Kawhi Leonard in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all mentality.
Yeah.
It's not even how you make plays, it's mentality. It is getting your teammates involved. Anybody can do it, but can you win doing it?
Yeah, but it's not the same no more with that point guard position, bro. That getting your teammates involved is not the same for every point guard. The assignment ain't the same.
It's not about a point guard.
Well,
it's about making a play, bro.
Exactly. It's not even about getting the assist all the time, bro. It's about making the right basketball play. Niggas is getting hockey assists out there, bro. Like it's not even about that no more for point guards.
I understand what you're saying, but it's still you still need to get in the paint, and your mentality has to be to make a play. Where not everybody's mentality is to make a play, Drew.
No, absolutely not.
That's why we bang on LeBron.
Yeah,
and LeBron's not Carmelo. Where Carmelo's gonna get in the paint, Damian, no matter who's open for three, what's he gonna do?
He's shooting it.
His own mentality then.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter frame, height, size. It's all here. It's all mentality. It's your game. It's your IQ. It's your DNA. Like you don't build a Rondo or Jason Kidd or LeBron James or Ricky Rubio because you could put Ricky Rubio in there. I told niggas when he went to Phoenix they're gonna be better. No, because
talk about Ricky Rubio to lefty, boy.
I know, but whether he wants to believe it or not, like Ricky Rubio's teams don't really lose. Ricky Rubio gets his scorers involved. His best players play better when Ricky Rubio's on the basketball court. He finds
Ricky Rubio's a good point guard. The only thing with me with Ricky Rubio is that they were mad hyping this nigga when he came out.
And I know, yes.
And you know what I'm saying? They drafted that nigga before Steph Curry. Give me a break. But that they drafted Rubio before Steph Curry. That's my beef with that shit. That niggas be amping shit and look at that type of mistake. You know what I'm saying? But
now the best point guards in the NBA, do they make the playoffs? Like if you say the best 10 point guards in the NBA, did they all make the playoffs last year?
You know what? I don't think that there's point guards like that get all the minutes anymore like that. Those type of point guards play off the bench and get a few minutes here and there, bro.
They run the second unit.
But what I'm saying is we're talking about point guards making playoffs.
Yep.
That's right. Patrick Beverly and the Lakers, those are two like non-existent ones, right?
What?
Like Patrick Beverly and the Lakers point guard.
What about it?
I don't think LeBron started at the point. So we're talking about small guys making impacts on games. You got David Lillard, Michael Conley in the West. You got the kid at Murray.
You got what's son's name in Toronto?
Chris Paul.
Chris
Paul made the playoffs. Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons, Kemba Walker. So it's safe to say that the point guards that you would want in the NBA now make the playoffs, correct?
Yeah.
It's safe to say. So now we're going back to what I say. When you got dudes like Trae Young, who can't make the playoffs yet, 2 years in, he can't make the playoffs in the weak East. John Wall had a problem making the playoffs. Remember John Wall? So sometimes some dudes,
I remember John Wall.
yeah, I mean, John Wall had a hard time making the playoffs, man. Let's see what happens now. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens now when he comes back, man. Like,
But he
I'm
made the playoffs. But he made the playoffs, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he made
I
the
hear
playoffs.
you.
Sometimes
But
it
it's been
takes
to
dudes
the
longer.
playoffs.
Sometimes it takes dudes longer to make the playoffs. Where you got other ones who right away they just make their teammates better, no matter who they play with. No matter who
Yeah.
no matter who they're playing with. And then we're gonna watch Steph Curry. We're gonna watch Stephon Marbury play his whole career, 15 years, and never make a deep playoff run. Because not even when he played with KG was a deep. Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody. Like I got a
With
problem.
what? With
That-
Steph, but nobody said Steph was a winner.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that there's dudes in the NBA there's guards in the NBA who are always gonna have that type of game. That no matter how nice they are, no matter how talented they are and gifted they are, their teams can't win. There's something about their games. And what it is,
Sometimes it's that they're not the better team. They're just not on the better team, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, you don't think
Like,
better
what the
teams can
fuck,
beat these
nigga?
players?
Everybody can't
Jason
win.
Kidd takes over twice for Stephon Marbury, and his teams make.
They're better. Jason Kidd's a much better point guard than Stephon Marbury.
Okay,
what is
but
physically, it's the same.
That's it, though.
Physically,
But
it's
that's
the
not
same.
an
It's the
argument.
same, right?
Exactly. That's not an
Jason Kidd-
argument.
You know what I'm saying?
Physically, it's the same.
That what?
Physically, it's the same, though.
Physically?
Stephon Marbury may be more talented than Jason Kidd.
No,
But he's not a. No. Not you
Stephon
talking about,
Marbury wasn't a better shooter. Wasn't a better athlete.
he was a better shooter. That's it.
Jason Kidd 6'5". Stephon Marbury was I'm sure he had a higher vertical, better athlete, quicker, and a better shooter coming into the league.
All right. Athleticism don't is not a stat.
and
Jump
Jason
shot,
had
yeah.
Athleticism is a plus, though, right? Athleticism makes the game easier for
With
you.
all that, he's not a better point guard than Jason Kidd, being more athletic and with a better jump shot. He's still not a better point guard than Jason Kidd.
Bro, listen. Regardless what you
No,
say,
he's not.
Jason Kidd is a Hall of Famer. It's over. Don't
No,
even.
of course.
It's not. It's.
But I'm comparing the two games. That's what I'm doing.
I hear you. Jason Kidd's game is
I'm
better.
comparing
So
their
whose
game.
game you rather have, Stephon Marbury or Jason Kidd?
I'd rather have the dude that wins games. Whose game would I rather have?
Yeah, whose game would you rather have?
Stephon Marbury was more talented than Jason Kidd.
Whose game you rather have?
But you have to let me finish talking.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not just whose game I'd rather have, because IQ and all that comes with game, right? So now, who's more talented? Stevie Francis, more athletic, jump higher, faster. Kyrie Irving, quicker, better handle. Stephon Marbury, jump higher, better jump shot. But what Jason Kidd has up here, you can't. It's different from his IQ is different. Making his teammates
Jason Kidd talented too.
no and talented, but why? What these three do can't translate to wins because he's pass first. Where these two pound the ball forever and shoot. Jason Kidd came into the league, had Monster Mash and Jimmy Jackson averaging 25 a game. Ray John Rondo allowed for Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and KG to be happy because he's pure to his craft. Everybody ain't. How many dudes can make that happen?
Whose game you rather have, Steph or J Kidd?
Whose game I'd rather have? So again, we're going to talk about who's nicer or whose IQ I'd rather have. Because whose game I'd rather have because of their IQ is Jason Kidd. But who's nicer? Who would I rather watch play? Stephon Marbury, Kyrie Irving, Stephen Francis.
But all Steph had over him was athleticism and a jump shot.
That's
How
a
did that
lot.
translate into a better game? Because
That's
J
a lot.
Kidd's handle was just as good. His
But that's a lot,
handle in the
dude.
transition, and he passed the ball way better.
What
And
that
defended better.
What that has to do with it? That the 90% up here went to Jason Kidd.
All right.
That if Stephon Marbury had that 90%, he'd be one of the best players in the history of.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing, bro, because athleticism don't always make you the better player. Look at Larry Bird.
Well, you know what makes you for Larry Bird average 7 assists at his position for his life.
Okay, but you can't name 10 better athletes than Larry Bird that ain't better ball players than
Of
Larry
course,
Bird.
but what's in here is different. What's in here?
Okay,
Okay,
all
what's in
right,
here? So whose game was
absolutely.
it? Still want Larry Bird's game because Larry Bird fundamentally is how many been better than Larry Bird. So you still want Larry Bird's game. So now you're going back to what I'm saying. So now you put Larry Bird with what's up here, and it's oh my God. Whereas Stephon Marbury, if you put Jason Kidd's brain inside that body and his athleticism and his jump shot, it'd be like, oh my God. It'd be like, oh
I
my God.
think Jason Kidd was oh my God anyway.
Listen, the one with
He had everybody rocking everywhere he went, G.
right.
Everywhere he went, they won.
So you're gonna tell me that as far as being on the island, isolation, Stephon Marbury wasn't nicer than Jason Kidd? Getting his own shot?
But that's not what we said.
Oh, of course
That's
not.
one aspect of the game.
Oh, of course
That's what
not.
I'm saying. Exactly. He
So,
was a better isolation player or a better point guard. Like, what are we talking about?
whose better game I'd rather have? I'd rather
Yes,
have
absolutely.
Marbury. Whose brain I'd rather have? Jason Kidd, Ray John Rondo, Steve Nash. Whose game I'd rather have? Stevie Francis, Stephon Marbury, Jason Richardson. But whose brain would I have?
Yeah, but you just naming better athletes. So basically, you just rather be able to dunk than not dunk.
I'm naming better athletes with games.
Yeah, but none of them have a better game than Jason Kidd, bro.
Who doesn't have a better game than Jason Kidd?
Steve Francis don't have a better game than Jason Kidd, bro.
Okay, first of all, if Steve Francis was pass first and he could do everything else that he did,
you put ifs to get your argument across. There's no ifs, bro. There's no ifs.
You asking me whose game I'd rather have. Now I'm trying to explain to you that as
No, you said that already. You answered that. You say you rather have Steph's game. But what I'm saying is,
no, but I did just say I'd rather have Steph's game because it's two different things. I'd rather have Steph's game. I'd rather have Steph's game. Right. So whatever Jason Kidd brings to the table, that's who I want running my team.
I know, but that's two different arguments. I said whose game would you rather have?
I want Steph between the legs, around the back. I want his step back. I want his jump shot. I want him finishing at the basket. I want that 22 points a game. Yeah, I'd rather have that game.
That's it.
Right. Who do you want running my team? Jason Kidd, Ray John, that's like saying Ray John Rondo or Stevie Francis. I'd rather have Stevie Francis do. But wouldn't it be amazing if I had Kidd's brains and Ray John's brains? Like, it'd be amazing. I'd be the best player. I'd be the best point guard ever. These guys
but ifs don't get it. Like, you rather have Steph's game, and I respect it because Steph's game was crazy. He shoot that shit from anywhere. He was athletic, but I don't think because a player is more athletic than another player makes him a better player. That's all I'm saying. Athleticism is something great to have, but I don't think it defines every single player.
Of course not. And what I'm trying to say is that it's all up here.
Yeah, because look at your man, Steph Curry. Steph Curry might be the least athletic of your 6'3" Mount Rushmore. He is the least athletic of your 6'3" Mount Rushmore. But he's probably the best scorer on your 6'3" Mount Rushmore.
AI is.
All right. Either way, no matter how you look at it, what I'm saying is he's not that athlete. There's nothing athletic about his game, bro.
Of course. But at the same time,
whose game you rather have, Steph Curry or Stephon Marbury?
Again,
only the game.
But let's not get this twisted. I got a category for Stephon Marbury, Kyrie Irving, and Steve Francis. Great players, great individual talents who their team I've never seen win regular season games as them being the best players. Right? I'm not defending these guys at all.
Nah, bro, we're talking about the game, just the game, their game.
Exactly. So these dudes, they were great watchers in the NBA.
Absolutely, and that's what we're talking about.
Where AI is their same great watch, but AI win games.
And it led to wins. Absolutely. But what we're only talking about games, not better players.
Let's not say that I'd rather have Steph over Jason Kidd. Of course not.
No, game. You rather have Stephon Marbury's game than his game. What are we saying?
I'd rather have Kyrie's game I'd rather have his basketball skill because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, the game,
I'd
that game.
rather have
Handle,
Kyrie's
forward, all
basketball
that.
skill than Ray John Rondo.
All right. So how about
So when
Steph
I go
Curry?
out there with 5 players, I got 4 more with me. I don't care who I'm playing with. I'm picking Rondo first. I don't care if I'm in Cabrini, Indictment, in West 4th Street. My team is not playing with Kyrie Irving.
All right. So
You gotta wait the next. I don't care. I already got 5, son. Because I know what type of player you are. And in my
yeah,
life, we all been around these players. Nah,
yeah.
I already got 5, son. And you only got 5. You picked 2 losers.
How about you, Twin? Between the Stephon Marbury's game or Jason Kidd's game?
I want Jason Kidd's game. Hey, Jason Kidd got isolation too, and I think Jason Kidd is as athletic as Stephon Marbury, if not more. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph's game is fire. I grew up watching Steph. I love Steph's game, right? And
Yep.
maybe when I was young, I might have been Steph just because he's from New York.
Yep.
But in hindsight, Jason Kidd's game, he had the isolation, and he was a pass first, right? He was a pass first, but
he wasn't a good
scorer.
I gotta correct you. Jason Kidd wasn't a good scorer. There wasn't many isolation plays scored for Jason Kidd.
No, there wasn't isolation, but
right.
he'll beat guys off the dribble.
Jason Kidd is
all the time.
Of course, he's a point guard. Nobody can out in the NBA. Okay,
absolutely.
Okay, listen, we got that. But Jason Kidd couldn't finish at the basket. Jason Kidd never had 20 a game. You know this is not what Jason Kidd did. Jason Kidd's specialty, what made him great was that he made everybody around him good.
Yeah, but Jason, what made him great was at the time that the triple double wasn't big.
I was about to say,
10.
Yes, and he was a big guard for his time. And he was a big guard for his time.
10 in 3 categories, that's equivalent to 20 points.
Yeah, he's rebounding the shit out the ball too. Yep, absolutely.
Listen, we're not gonna talk about we're gonna get into those debates. Regardless, I already said I better have Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Steph's game.
I better have him on my team. Well, Jason Kidd was bigger than Steph, but as far as talent, gifted. Okay, perfect example. What's wrong with Kobe, Vince Carter, and T-Mac? Like as far as skill and gift, well, you're not going wrong with any one of them 3. But something separated them up here, right? So you take any one of those 3 in their prime, physically gifted. What's wrong with them as a basketball player? It's up here, though, right? It's up here.
What do you mean? What's wrong with them, or what separates them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's very weak flaws in all 3 of these games. T-Mac, Vince Carter, size, as far as size, footwork.
T-Mac was 6'8". Yeah.
Kobe may be the less athletic one out of all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He is the less athletic.
Now listen, this is all freestyle, brothers. We know this.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking this while I'm talking this.
No, absolutely. That's a fact.
Kobe may be the least athletic.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Not maybe he is.
What separates them? So this is again going to my point. It's not just like.
Yeah, but it was. I was just explaining the game, man. That's the type of game I'd rather have.
Yeah, me too, though. Me too. I'd rather have Kidd's game than Steph's game. I'd rather the rebounds, the assists, and the little bit of like the few points than the 20 and 7.
Again, I'm talking little small guys. I'm talking offensively skilled. Like the rebounds and besides all that, I'm talking offensively skilled. Like on the offensive end of the basketball court. As far as being nice, like that's what I'm talking about. But then you add brains to that nice, and you're an all-time great player. Like you're all-time. And listen, and Chris Paul that's brains and nice. Steve Nash is brains and nice.
And Chris Paul's athletic, bro.
Jason Kidd is brains and nice.
Chris Paul used to throw it, man. Chris Paul was athletic, very athletic at his size.
Yeah, but that's brains and nice also, though.
Yeah. So you take Stephon Marbury's game over Chris Paul's game?
Nice is J.R. Ryder and Jason Richardson. without everything up there, without the basketball IQ, without I'm gonna make my teammates better. I'm just a crazy freak athlete. I can shoot because they can both shoot. I can take it to the basket, hit the mid range. There was nothing wrong with them two dudes' games. It's something up here. Like when they was rolling, what's wrong with them dudes?
Who? Isaiah Ryder?
Isaiah Ryder. What's the other name I just said right now?
Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson.
Right? It was a dunk contest, nigga.
No,
Man.
Jason Richardson is a freak athlete. Finished at the basket.
Yeah, freak athlete.
Threes,
yeah,
making threes, right? But so what separates those type of players from a Kobe or a Ray Allen?
Jason Richardson, he ain't have no handle to start. He could shoot, but he's not creating off the dribble and making shots. And you can, and in the air is different. He's finished.
I think sometimes just appear. Paul Pierce, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes Brandon Roy.
Paul Pierce what?
Man. Paul Pierce, like his shit was more jabs, ball face. It was more. It wasn't athleticism. It was more about IQ.
Yeah, but Paul Pierce was athletic too, man. That's what.
But yeah, but listen, we're talking about freak athletes that can shoot. Look at a dude like Gerald Green. The dude shoots the three. Well, the dude jumps out the gym.
And he only got 9 fingers.
But what's okay? So, like, imagine if something up here doesn't allow him to be a great basketball player.
Or has to be something, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yo, this shit ain't an equal opportunity game, bro. Everybody can't be that dude.
Yeah, everybody's not gonna be LeBron, bro. That's a fact.
A lot of these dudes
more people don't make it than the people that do. So you can't expect that everybody that do make it is gonna have that it factor. The numbers don't say it does.
And maybe it's not it factor is a good way to use it, but at the same time, it has to be basketball IQ.
I mean, it has to be or maybe they just can't deal with the constant pressure of being great all the time, nigga. Like
I just think it's like I just think like G said, some people just don't get it, twin. Like it's just certain aspects of the game that certain people just don't get because they've been getting by with what they do well their whole career, which in the NBA lead you to being a role player. If eventually you don't get it all, you'll be a Gerald Green. That the ceiling is crazy, but he stays like somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is, if everybody could get it, right? Then it wouldn't make the LeBrons and the Jordans and these guys special.
Facts.
But now we're
their approach is different too, bro. Like look at the work they put in to be that great. That's what I think separates them.
No, and now we're going back to the 6'3" and under. Like, would you rather have a pass first guy run your team, or not a very good pass first point guard run your team?
Or scorer.
I
think it depends on the team I have. Because if you need like you're not gonna put a dude that score first on a team where you got a bunch of scorers and vice versa.
And Jason Kidd, like dudes like that are special, man.
I mean, I'm gonna go pass first. If it's to pick one or the other, I want pass first. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that's gonna swing the ball, that can score and can shoot, but has them like I would want like a Chris Paul. You understand what I'm saying? He knows how to pass, and he could be a pass first, and he selectively shoots when it's time to. I don't like the shooting all day point guard in D'Antoni's offense type shit.
And that's the difference between a Chris Paul and a Jason Kidd, where Chris Paul can finish a game for you, take 5 straight shots for you, where the Jason Kidd and the Rondo can.
No, that's not right. They're just gonna do it their way. They're not gonna do it by shooting. They're gonna create plays.
Like I said, where you have point guards that can take 5 straight shots to finish a game.
The Damian Lillards.
Right, but listen, let me tell you
The
something.
Curry.
Put
and the
Damian
Rubio,
Lillard.
they can't do that.
But put Damian Lillard in your list of niggas that is successful in chucking up shots and playing the Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury game. Oh,
I mean, I agree, but you know what's the difference? That I've seen him hit 2 big-time playoff shots in the West and make the playoffs in the West.
my nigga,
First of
it
all,
doesn't matter what the difference
I've
is.
seen it.
They doing it.
No, and Steph made one too. Steph made one too. But you can't put. I don't think that you can put Damian Lillard in that category because Damian Lillard make the playoffs every year with 40.
No.
50
You could put him in that category as one of the ones that win playing that ball, my nigga. That's what you could do.
That win games playing that way.
Yeah, that win playing that way.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to dispute that. But
Now, and I won't dispute that there's not a lot of people successful. But you always like telling niggas to find me a nigga that does it.
Okay,
I found you one.
I can find you a difference between their games too, where other decent players can live with Damian Lillard. Where Kyrie, he gets punched in his mouth by Dion Waiters. Nobody in Boston like him. Stephon Marbury, we already know, got traded 15 times. The most you ever won as a best player was 40 games. So that's the difference.
I hear you.
Where Dame allows Aldridge to eat. Where Dame allows for the big man to get a contract, Nurkic. Where Dame
Wait a minute. You fucked up. Aldridge left because they were giving the team to Damian Lillard. That's not a good example.
But what I'm trying to say is that nothing stopped. Aldridge was eating while Damian Lillard was there. It wasn't like Damian Lillard controls the basketball, pounds the shit out of it like Steve Francis or Stephon Marbury.
Well,
no.
After Aldridge left, he did.
Well, Nurkic got a contract, and McCullough averages 20 plus. I don't know if anybody ever averaged 20 with Stephon Marbury. I don't know if anybody, maybe Yao Ming in light 20, maybe 19, because I was at the beginning before T-Mac, right. So maybe light, 19, maybe 18. And with Kyrie Irving being the point guard for his team, Tatum was at 19 a game. Jalen was at 18 a game. So what I already saw 2 dudes have 20 with Dame Lillard.
Yeah, but when Dame got there, it was already Aldridge's team, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then what about after that? When they get him all millions and it could have easily been his. McCullough's still eating. Nurkic still eating. You know
Dame get it done.
Dame? Yeah, Dame is different from these dudes. The games are the same. Damon needs the basketball in his hands. But I've seen Dame make other players around him better. Where I haven't seen these 3 ever do
it. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
So left you right about their games. But something about either his ego, selflessness, like, you know, Lillard came out of nowhere. But you can compare Damian Lillard's game as far as to any one of them niggas I just mentioned.
Oh, no, 100%. 100%.
And not so much Kyrie, because Kyrie's so much smaller than him as far as frame. You know what I'm saying? These other 3 dudes, bigger, stronger, and more athletic.
Yeah, he's super athletic, Dame Lillard.
Athletic, because Steph, Steve Francis, all athletic, just like him.
Them 3, yeah, but your man ain't even athletic, and you putting him up there that you'd rather have his game than other players, and that's Steve Nash. So athleticism doesn't always identify the better player, is what I'm saying, bro.
What I'm telling you is because of the way he shoots over Jason Kidd still gonna run my team. But whose game I'd rather have? Because Jason Kidd up here, 6'5". It's different. You know, Jason Kidd's a special dude. Like Magic Johnson.
It don't matter what's the reason if it's mind or whatever, what game you want, B.
What game I want? Like I want Steve Nash game because he's and we're not talking about defense now. We're talking about offensive skill, right?
Yeah.
Defense. I'm not talking about rebounding. I'm talking about Steve Nash make every shot on the basketball court, get everybody in my team involved. Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, Q Rich, you name it. Like we all eating out here, and I'm still gonna get mine. And it's easy, it's fluid. It's like wow, beautiful. It's like basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what basketball's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve Nash is in that category as that amazing. He has the brains and the game. Because Steve Nash is not one of the whitest black kids you ever, the whitest black kids you ever seen. His game,
Yeah, him and White Chocolate.
right? Like Steve Nash, different. Like you know what I'm saying? Behind the bag passes, behind in traffic, like Steve, and he can make every shot in the book. And he can make every shot in the book. So I'd rather have his skill set than who are you telling me?
No, you said No, earlier who we was talking about when it was Steve Nash. I don't even remember who it was.
Oh, what I said about Steve Nash and Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
That you're putting nice with brains. You're putting IQ
with both of them.
With nice. You're putting
with
both of them. And maybe you could put Steph Curry in that category. You could put Isaiah in that category, but you can't put a Steph and these guys that we mentioned before in that category.
No, not at all.
The 6'1" games and IQ. Two game you'd rather have and brain at the same time.
Yeah, but it's two different things when you talk about those players.
I can argue Jason Kidd doesn't belong in the nice because he can't get a shot whenever you want him to. Like he's not taking 5 straight shots for you at the end of the game. If Kenyon Martin fouls out, if Jay Rich fouls out, does he affect the game in a different way? I can never dispute that. Magic ain't had to take 5 shots at the same time. If he found Worthy wide open, if he found Matt, a whole different game, of course. So who's running my team? Magic Johnson, Isaiah, and Jason Kidd.
He can still affect the game in the last 5 shots without taking one of them.
That's my top 3 point guards all time.
Yeah.
The kid is number 3. At the players that I see, who am I giving the basketball to run my team? Jason Kidd. But would I rather have my eye test his game versus some of other guys? Of course not. Of course not. But would I give him the basketball to run my team? Of course I would.
I think what separates it is athleticism, and that's just a couple dunks and layups.
And all of this, the way
Jason he had that. J.K. had that.
But Jason Kidd, where was he going with that?
What do you mean?
Jason Kidd wasn't pulling up jump shot consistently.
He was getting in the paint.
He was getting to the cup, nigga.
At 14 points a game for his life. You cannot put him in the scoring category where anybody else I ever named. Does he?
We're not talking about that. We wasn't saying that. We wasn't saying that. That's not what we were saying. We were saying the athleticism
or offensive skill set. He can't go with Steve Nash with his feet, or Steve Nash turnaround jump shot, or get in the paint and float 1 foot. Like you can't compare Steph's offensive game to Jason Kidd's skill offensive game.
We're talking about the other dude you said, Steve Francis. What Steve Francis got over Jason Kidd?
Steve Francis was special as far as he could jump, as far as he could shoot, had the fade away. Right, no, but he was a scorer also.
Yes, he was.
He scored more than Jason Kidd. All these dudes are more gifted than Jason Kidd offensively. Who are you giving the basketball to to run your team? Jason Kidd. But you can't tell me that Jason Kidd was a scorer and more.
No, he wasn't a scorer.
Exactly.
He wasn't a scorer.
But he can score.
At 14 points a game. No, Lefty, we know that he wasn't a scorer. He didn't get his own shot. He was a set 3-point shooter at the end of his career, waiting for a pass. We know this, Lefty. Like he didn't get his own 3, where these dudes got their own shots anytime they wanted to in the NBA. Don't dispute.
I gotta cut this one a little bit short, man, because I got my wife.
Nah, you already know, brother Beast. Handle your BI.
If y'all want me to make it to the next one, I gotta, you know what I mean? You already.
I appreciate you, champ.
No doubt.
You already.
No, be careful. I'll see y'all later.
Yes, sir. G Money.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, my brother. But I don't think you can go either. I don't think you can go wrong when you're breaking down what you're breaking down. Like the offensive skill set of these players apart from athleticism, you talk about handle, range on the jump shot, and all that. I just think that you're downplaying a little bit of Jason Kidd's offensive skill set.
Of course I am. Just like I would.
Like he wasn't a scorer.
Just like I would Magic Johnson.
But
Just
in transition, I'll put his handle up against anybody you name.
Oh,
in
yeah.
isolation basketball, no. He can get it done, but it wasn't the same like a Stevie. Stevie Francis was out there playing Dykeman Rucker basketball with dudes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Playing games with dudes.
Scorers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Scorers, where it's the same thing with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson went to 9 finals, whatever the case may be, but he wasn't a scorer.
No.
Could he score? Yeah, Magic could score.
Yeah. He did whatever he needed to do, man.
But was his skill set to be a scorer?
Nah, he was not a bucket getter.
Just like Magic. Just
like J Kidd wasn't a bucket getter, but I just think that his handle was a little better. His offensive game was a little better than what you giving him credit for.
Whose game would I rather have? Absolutely, I'd rather have their games. So, but imagine if you put brains behind them.
You're absolutely right.
And the dudes that you put brains behind it, where it's Chris Paul and Jason Kidd and who else? Isaiah, like, then they're special.
Yeah, you know, absolutely.
They're special. They make deep playoff runs. They got a chance of winning championships. They got a chance of winning MVPs. They make the Hall of Fame.
None of them dudes made the Hall of Fame though.
None of the dudes that are in the category.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah. None of them
make a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, Kyrie may make it. Kyrie may not. But let's see how his career finishes.
I mean, he's supposed to have a short-lived career, so I think you don't think he has his bid already?
No.
Why? I wouldn't argue that with you. I'm just asking what you think.
I can argue if Kyrie is a Hall of Famer because he went to the finals all them years with LeBron, then Draymond should be too one day. Like, I mean, even though as crazy as it sounds, but it's like, okay, you made a big shot, you did all that, but when you wasn't with LeBron James, what have you done?
Yeah, not a damn thing.
Right. So
if he wins with KD,
I mean, if he wins with KD, which I doubt it will happen, then I got to put more respect on Kyrie.
Yeah, because not every Hall of Fame is Batman. There's a bunch of Robins in the Hall of Fame too. He's a Robin. He's a Robin. I mean, he's a Robin, bro. He's not a Batman. We know that.
Joe Dumas. We could go on and on.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They were great players, but they were also on great teams.
Yeah.
And if you win and you're very good, then you go to the Hall of Fame.
Got it.
Horace Grant's not getting in.
Who?
Horace Grant. Robert Horry may not get in because you weren't great. You won, but you weren't great.
Yeah.
Well, Rodman gets in, and he won as many. I mean, in the Bulls dynasty, he won as many as Horace Grant. But your eyes tell you what he did was different.
Absolutely.
Right, your eyes tell you that he's a great player. I don't know what the hell he's doing out there, but he's affecting the game, and it's working.
Does Robert Horry get in with 7 rings?
He may get in one day, but he's not one of the best players you've ever seen.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Even though he contributed to all 7, 7 is a tough number, and he put his name on all 7 of them rings.
Hall of Fame should be for the best players, you know, especially when you're not a Christian Laettner in college, and then you come to the NBA, and you know if you're a Christian Laettner in college and you come out and have a Robert Horry career, then you're a Hall of Fame. Yeah, because it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. You know?
Yeah, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
But if you, you know, I don't see. I think the best of the best should be in there. The greatest of all time.
I agree with you, my brother. We almost on 2 hours, bro.
You already know, man.
Yo, you already know. I'ma holler at you. We get up and we do the next one like we do the first one.
Yes, sir. Be careful.
Holler at your boy, G.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of What's the Word podcast. And we got something cooking up real soon. So tune in or you losing and holler at your boy.